Hello friends! Welcome to another exciting English learning video. Have you ever wondered how much English you can learn from a simple daily routine? In today's story, you'll discover useful everyday English while following a typical day in someone's life. Let's get started. Every day in the small town of Green Valley began with the gentle singing of birds. The first rays of sunlight slipped through the curtains of 16-year-old Adam's bedroom, painting golden patterns on the walls. Adam was an ordinary student, but his daily routine was filled with small adventures that made every day special. At exactly 6 o'clock every morning, Adam's alarm clock rang loudly. The sound echoed through his room, interrupting his dreams and pulling him back into reality. For a few moments, he stared at the ceiling, gathering the energy to begin another day. Beside his bed sat his loyal dog, Bruno, who wagged his tail as soon as he noticed Adam opening his eyes. "Good morning, Bruno," Adam said with a smile. Bruno barked happily as if he had been waiting for that greeting all night. Adam stretched his arms, got out of bed, and walked toward the window. Outside, the streets were still quiet. A few people were already awake, beginning their own routines. Mr. Thomas, the elderly neighbor, watered his flowers every morning without fail. Across the street, Mrs. Parker opened her bakery, preparing fresh bread and pastries for customers. Adam loved these peaceful moments. They made him feel connected to the world around him. After making his bed neatly, he headed to the bathroom. The cool water on his face instantly woke him up. He brushed his teeth, combed his hair, and changed into his school uniform. By the time he was ready, the delicious smell of breakfast was floating through the house. In the kitchen, his mother, Sarah, was preparing pancakes while his younger sister, Emma, sat at the table drawing colorful pictures. "Good morning, sleepyhead," Sarah said. "I'm not sleepy anymore," Adam replied. Emma giggled. "You looked sleepy 5 minutes ago." The family sat together and enjoyed breakfast. Adam believed that breakfast was the most peaceful part of his day. They talked about school, upcoming events, and funny stories from the previous day. Once breakfast was over, Adam packed his school bag carefully. He checked his books, notebooks, pencils, and homework. Forgetting something at home could ruin the entire day, so he always double-checked everything. At 7 o'clock, he waved goodbye to his family and began his walk to school. The streets were now alive with activity. Shopkeepers arranged products outside their stores. Children walked to school with their friends. Cars moved steadily through the roads. The town was waking up, and Adam felt as though he was part of a giant machine where every person had a role to play. As he walked, he met his best friend, Noah. "Ready for another school day?" Noah asked. "As ready as I'll ever be," Adam replied. Together, they continued toward Green Valley High School. The school building stood proudly at the center of town. Students filled the hallways with laughter and conversation. Adam's first class was mathematics. Although many students disliked the subject, Adam enjoyed solving problems. His teacher, Mr. Wilson, always challenged the class with interesting puzzles. "Mathematics teaches us how to think," Mr. Wilson often said. Adam listened carefully and completed his assignments with concentration. The second class was science. Today, the students conducted an experiment involving magnets. Adam worked with Noah and another classmate named Lily. Lily was one of the smartest students in school. She loved science and dreamed of becoming an engineer someday. "Look at how the magnets attract each other," Lily said excitedly. Adam nodded. "It's amazing how invisible forces can do so much." The experiment was successful, and their group earned praise from the teacher. When recess arrived, students rushed outside. The school playground became a lively scene filled with energy. Some students played soccer. Others sat under trees chatting with friends. Adam, Noah, and Lily gathered near a large oak tree and shared snacks. "Did you finish the history project?" Noah asked. "Almost," Adam replied. Lily smiled confidently. "I finished mine yesterday." "Of course you did," Noah laughed. The three friends spent the rest of recess discussing their plans for the weekend. After recess came history class. The teacher, Mrs. Johnson, told fascinating stories about explorers, inventors, and leaders from the past. Adam enjoyed history because it felt like traveling through time. The school day continued with English, geography, and computer studies. Each class offered new knowledge and experiences. By lunchtime, Adam was hungry. The cafeteria buzzed with conversation as students enjoyed their meals. At one table sat a group of athletes discussing upcoming matches. At another table, members of the art club shared sketches and paintings. Adam noticed how every student seemed to have a unique story. When the final bell rang in the afternoon, students cheered with excitement. Another school day had come to an end. Leaving school always brought a sense of relief. Adam and Noah walked home together, discussing everything from homework to movies. As they crossed the town square, they passed several familiar faces. There was Mr. Carter, the librarian, carrying a stack of books. Nearby, young children chased pigeons around a fountain. Street musicians played cheerful tunes that echoed through the square. The town felt like a living storybook filled with characters. Before heading home, Adam stopped at Mrs. Parker's bakery. The warm smell of fresh bread filled the air. "Good afternoon, Adam," Mrs. Parker said. "Hello, Mrs. Parker. Can I have 2 chocolate muffins, please?" "Of course." She handed him the muffins with a smile. Adam thanked her and continued home. When he arrived, Bruno greeted him enthusiastically. "Hey, buddy!" Adam laughed. The dog's excitement never failed to improve his mood. Inside the house, his mother was working on her laptop while Emma was doing homework. "How was school?" Sarah asked. "Pretty good," Adam replied. After changing clothes, he sat down for a quick snack and prepared for the next part of his routine. Adam believed that a productive afternoon led to a peaceful evening. The first thing he did was complete his homework. He sat at his desk, organized his books, and worked carefully. Mathematics required problem solving. History required reading. Science required writing observations from the day's experiment. Sometimes homework felt challenging, but Adam knew that consistent effort brought success. While studying, he occasionally looked out the window. Children played outside. Neighbors chatted. Birds flew across the sky. These small scenes reminded him that life continued beyond his desk. After finishing homework, Adam helped his mother with household chores. He watered plants in the garden. He cleaned his room. He organized books on shelves. These responsibilities taught him discipline and independence. One afternoon, while watering flowers, he met his elderly neighbor, Mr. Thomas. "You're becoming quite responsible," Mr. Thomas said. "I'm trying my best." Mr. Thomas smiled. "Success isn't built in one day. It's built through daily habits." Adam remembered those words long after the conversation ended. As the sun began to set, Adam finally had free time. Some evenings he played soccer with Noah and other friends at the local field. The field transformed into a world of excitement. Players ran across the grass. Spectators cheered. Friendly competition filled the air. On other evenings, Adam visited the town library. The library was one of his favorite places. Rows of books stretched in every direction. Stories of adventure, mystery, science, and history waited on every shelf. Mr. Carter always recommended interesting books. "Try this one," he said one evening. Adam borrowed the novel and spent hours immersed in its pages. Books allowed him to travel to distant worlds without leaving town. Sometimes he met Lily at the library. The two friends often discussed books and school projects. "Knowledge is like treasure," Lily once said. "The more you collect, the richer you become." Adam liked that idea. As darkness slowly covered Green Valley, the town lights flickered on. Shops closed. Families gathered for dinner. The busy day gradually slowed. And for Adam, another chapter of his daily routine was approaching. As evening settled over Green Valley, Adam returned home from the library carrying the book Mr. Carter had recommended. The streets glowed under rows of street lights, and the cool breeze carried the scent of freshly cut grass. Inside the house, dinner was almost ready. The dining room was one of Adam's favorite places. It was where the family gathered every evening, no matter how busy their day had been. His father, Michael, had just returned from work. He managed a small hardware store in town and always seemed to have interesting stories about customers and daily events. "Everyone to the table," Sarah called. The family sat together as plates of food were served. Emma excitedly shared stories about her school art project. "I drew a giant castle with dragons," she announced proudly. "That sounds impressive," Michael said. "Can we see it after dinner?" Adam asked. Emma nodded enthusiastically. During the meal, everyone talked about their day. Adam described the science experiment and soccer practice. Michael talked about helping a customer repair an old bicycle. Sarah discussed her work projects. These conversations made Adam feel connected to his family. He realized that every person experienced different adventures during the same day. After dinner, Adam helped clear the table. While washing dishes, he listened to Emma explain the story behind every dragon in her drawing. One dragon protected the castle. Another guarded hidden treasure. A third dragon secretly wanted to become a painter. Adam laughed. You have a very creative imagination. Emma smiled proudly. Once his responsibilities were finished, Adam retreated to his room. This was his quiet time. The house became peaceful. The television was off. The streets outside were calm. Even Bruno had curled up near the door for a nap. Adam opened his notebook and began writing. Writing was one of his favorite hobbies. Sometimes he wrote stories about explorers sailing across unknown oceans. Other times he imagined futuristic cities filled with flying vehicles and advanced technology. Tonight, he wrote about a young traveler searching for a hidden kingdom beyond the mountains. As he filled the pages, his imagination carried him far away from Green Valley. After writing, he spent some time reading the novel he had borrowed from the library. The story followed a group of adventurers searching for a lost city. The more he read, the more inspired he became. One day, Adam hoped to write a novel of his own. He imagined seeing his name on a book cover displayed in the library. Perhaps students would borrow his stories just as he borrowed stories written by others. The idea motivated him to keep learning and improving. At 9 o'clock, Sarah gently knocked on the door. Time to start getting ready for bed. Okay, Adam replied. He marked his place in the book and set it aside. Adam's nighttime routine was simple but important. First, he prepared his clothes for the next day. Then he organized his school bag. Books were placed neatly inside. Homework was checked one final time. Pens and pencils were arranged carefully. His father often said, "Tomorrow becomes easier when you prepare today." Adam had learned the value of this advice. After organizing everything, he brushed his teeth and washed his face. The cool water helped him feel refreshed after a busy day. Before sleeping, he spent a few minutes standing by the window. The town looked completely different at night. The bakery was closed. The library lights were off. The soccer field was empty. Only a few cars moved along the quiet roads. The stars sparkled overhead like tiny diamonds scattered across a dark blanket. Adam enjoyed these peaceful moments. They gave him time to reflect on everything he had experienced during the day. Finally, he climbed into bed. Bruno settled beside him. Within minutes, Adam drifted into sleep, ready to begin another day. The next morning began just like every other. The alarm clock rang. Birds sang outside. Sunlight streamed through the curtains. Yet Adam had a feeling that this day would be different. At breakfast, Noah sent him a message. Don't forget. Student council elections are next week. Adam nearly dropped his spoon. He had completely forgotten. Several friends had encouraged him to run for student council representative. The position involved organizing activities, helping students, and working with teachers. However, Adam wasn't sure he was confident enough. At school, Noah, and Lily immediately brought up the topic. "You should do it," Noah insisted. "You'd be great," Lily agreed. Adam hesitated. "What if nobody votes for me?" Lily smiled. "Success isn't about never failing. It's about trying." Those words stayed in his mind throughout the day. During lunch break, he noticed students discussing ideas for improving school life. Some wanted more sports activities. Others wanted additional library resources. Adam realized that he genuinely cared about these issues. Perhaps becoming a representative wasn't such a bad idea after all. For the next several days, Adam's daily routine became slightly busier. He still woke up early. He still attended classes. He still completed homework and household chores. But now he also prepared for the student council election. Each afternoon, he worked on a speech. He practiced in front of a mirror. Sometimes he stumbled over words. Sometimes he forgot entire sentences. Yet with each attempt, he improved. One evening, Michael listened to the speech. "You sound nervous," he said. "I am nervous." Michael nodded. "Everyone gets nervous. Courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is speaking anyway." Adam practiced again. And again. And again. Soon his confidence began to grow. Meanwhile, other candidates were preparing as well. One candidate was Sophia, a talented athlete. Another was Ethan, known for his academic achievements. The competition would be challenging. Yet Adam decided to focus on doing his best rather than worrying about winning. Election day arrived faster than expected. The school auditorium was filled with students. Teachers stood near the stage. Candidates waited nervously behind a curtain. Adam could hear his heartbeat. Sophia delivered her speech first. She spoke confidently about expanding sports programs. The audience applauded. Ethan followed. He discussed academic improvements and study opportunities. Again, the audience applauded. Then it was Adam's turn. He stepped onto the stage. For a brief moment, the room felt enormous. Hundreds of eyes looked toward him. He took a deep breath. Then he began speaking. He talked about teamwork. He talked about listening to students. He talked about creating opportunities for everyone. As he continued, his nervousness gradually disappeared. The audience listened attentively. When he finished, applause filled the auditorium. Adam smiled. Regardless of the election result, he felt proud. He had faced his fear. That alone felt like a victory. The next few days seemed unusually long. Students discussed predictions. Friends debated possible winners. Teachers reminded everyone to remain patient. Adam focused on maintaining his normal routine. He attended classes. He completed assignments. He helped around the house. He read books. He played soccer. Yet the election remained in the back of his mind. One afternoon, while sitting beneath a large oak tree during recess, he confessed his worries to Lily. What if I lose? Lily shrugged. What if you win? Adam laughed. I hadn't thought about that. Either way, Lily said, you've already learned something valuable. She was right. The experience had made him more confident and responsible. That realization helped him relax. For the first time in days, he stopped worrying about the outcome. Instead, he focused on enjoying the present moment. The birds sang overhead. Students laughed nearby. The sun shone brightly. Life continued exactly as it always had. Friday morning arrived with an unusual sense of excitement. The hallways of Green Valley High School buzzed with conversations about the student council election. Everywhere Adam looked, students were discussing possible winners. Although he tried to focus on his classes, his mind kept drifting back to the election results. In mathematics class, Mr. Wilson noticed Adam staring out the window. Something on your mind today? The teacher asked. A little, Adam admitted. Mr. Wilson smiled knowingly. Whatever happens, remember that growth comes from participation. Adam nodded. Those words helped calm his nerves. After the final class of the day, all students gathered in the auditorium. Teachers stood near the stage while candidates sat in the front row. The principal, Mrs. Anderson, stepped to the microphone. Thank you all for participating in this year's election. Every candidate demonstrated leadership, responsibility, and dedication. The room became silent. Adam could hear his heartbeat once again. Mrs. Anderson opened an envelope and began reading the results. Several positions were announced first. Then came the position Adam had applied for. The new student council representative is. A brief pause filled the room. Adam Parker. For a moment, Adam could hardly believe what he had heard. Then applause erupted throughout the auditorium. Noah jumped to his feet cheering. Lily clapped enthusiastically. Even Sophia and Ethan congratulated him. Adam walked to the stage with a mixture of surprise, excitement, and gratitude. As he accepted the certificate, he realized that his daily efforts had helped prepare him for this moment. The discipline he practiced every day, waking up early, studying hard, helping others, and staying organized, had slowly built the confidence needed to succeed. That evening, his family celebrated with a special dinner. You earned this, Michael said proudly. Sarah smiled. We always knew you could do it. Emma raised a glass of juice. To Student Representative Adam, everyone laughed. It was one of the happiest evenings Adam could remember. Winning the election brought new responsibilities. Adam quickly discovered that leadership required time and effort. His daily routine became even more important. Every morning he continued waking up at 6 o'clock. He still made his bed. He still ate breakfast with his family. He still walked to school with Noah. But now he also attended student council meetings. The council worked on projects to improve school life. One project involved organizing a community cleanup event. Another focused on collecting books for the library. A third aimed to create new after-school clubs. Adam enjoyed the work, but balancing everything wasn't easy. One week, he felt overwhelmed. Homework assignments were piling up. Student council meetings required preparation. Soccer practice demanded energy. At home, household responsibilities still needed attention. One evening he sat at his desk staring at a long list of tasks. Bruno rested nearby while Adam rubbed his forehead. "This is too much," he muttered. Just then, Michael entered the room. "Tough day?" Adam nodded. "There aren't enough hours." Michael looked at the list. "Let's organize it." Together they prioritized tasks. Important assignments came first. Less urgent tasks were scheduled for later. Within minutes, the situation seemed manageable. Adam learned an important lesson that evening. Being busy wasn't the problem. Being organized was the solution. From that day forward, he managed his schedule more carefully. His routine became the foundation that helped him handle greater responsibilities. Several weeks later, the student council launched its largest project yet. The town park near the river needed improvement. Over time, litter had accumulated, benches needed repairs, and flower beds required attention. The council decided to organize a community service day. Students, parents, teachers, and local residents were invited to help. The project became the main focus of Adam's routine. Every afternoon after homework, he worked on planning tasks. He created posters. He helped distribute announcements. He coordinated volunteers. The entire town seemed excited. When the event day finally arrived, dozens of people gathered at the park. The scene was inspiring. Students picked up litter. Teachers planted flowers. Parents repaired benches. Local businesses donated supplies. Even Mr. Thomas participated despite his age. "Good communities are built by people who care," he said while planting flowers. Adam spent the day moving from group to group, helping wherever needed. By afternoon, the park looked completely different. Clean pathways stretched through colorful gardens. Freshly painted benches lined the walking trails. The riverbank sparkled in the sunlight. Everyone admired the transformation. The mayor of Green Valley even attended the closing ceremony. "This project demonstrates what teamwork can achieve," he said. Adam looked around at the smiling faces. He realized that small daily actions could create significant change when combined with the efforts of others. As the school year progressed, warmer weather arrived. Trees became greener. Flowers bloomed throughout town. The days grew longer. Summer was approaching. Students eagerly discussed vacation plans. Some planned family trips. Others looked forward to summer camps. Adam was excited too, but he continued following his routine. He understood that success wasn't built during special occasions alone. It was built during ordinary days. Every morning he continued waking up early. Every afternoon he completed homework. Every evening he read, wrote stories, or spent time with family. These habits had become part of who he was. One afternoon, While walking home with Noah and Lily, they discussed future dreams. "I want to become an engineer," Lily said. "I want to play professional soccer," Noah replied. They both looked at Adam. "What about you?" Adam thought for a moment. "I want to write stories." Noah smiled. "You already do." "Maybe," Adam said. "But one day I want people all over the world to read them." The idea felt exciting and slightly frightening. Yet for the first time, it also felt possible. Eventually, the final day of the school year arrived. The atmosphere at Green Valley High School was completely different. Students laughed freely. Teachers seemed more relaxed. Everyone knew that summer vacation was only hours away. During the final assembly, awards and certificates were distributed. Students were recognized for academic achievement, sports performance, leadership, and community service. Adam received recognition for his work as student representative. As he walked back to his seat, he reflected on everything that had happened during the year. He remembered the science experiments, the soccer matches, the election campaign, the community project, the friendships, the challenges, the victories. Most importantly, he remembered the countless ordinary days that connected all those experiences together. When the final bell rang, students cheered loudly. Summer vacation had officially begun. Summer brought freedom and adventure. Yet Adam's daily routine did not disappear. It simply changed. Instead of attending school, he spent mornings reading and writing. He helped his father at the hardware store several days each week. The experience taught him responsibility and customer service. He met many interesting people. There was a retired sailor who told stories about distant oceans. A carpenter who could build almost anything. An artist who painted beautiful landscapes. Every customer seemed to have a story worth hearing. In the afternoons, Adam played soccer with friends or explored nature trails near the river. Sometimes he brought a notebook and wrote ideas inspired by the world around him. One day, while sitting beneath a large tree overlooking the river, he began writing a story about a young student whose ordinary routine led to extraordinary experiences. The idea made him smile. Without realizing it, he was writing about himself. As summer continued, Adam began thinking about the future. He understood that life would bring new opportunities and challenges. There would be difficult days. There would be exciting days. There would be unexpected surprises. Yet he also understood something important. The secret to success wasn't hidden in rare moments. It existed within daily habits. Every morning offered a fresh beginning. Every afternoon offered opportunities to learn. Every evening offered time to reflect and grow. His routine had taught him discipline. It had taught him responsibility. It had taught him patience. Most importantly, it had taught him that small actions repeated consistently could lead to remarkable results. One peaceful evening, Adam stood beside his bedroom window as he often did before sleeping. The town was quiet. Streetlights illuminated the roads. Stars glittered above Green Valley. Bruno rested comfortably nearby. Adam thought about how many people were following their own routines at that very moment. Teachers preparing lessons. Parents planning tomorrow's work. Students finishing homework. Shopkeepers closing stores. Every person had a story. Every story was built from countless daily moments. As Adam prepared for bed, he realized that his own story was far from finished. Tomorrow would bring another sunrise. Another breakfast with family. Another opportunity to learn. Another chance to help others. Another page in the story of his life. He smiled, switched off the light, and climbed into bed. Outside, the stars continued shining. Inside, dreams slowly carried him toward a new day. And so, the story of Adam's daily routine continued, one ordinary, meaningful, and unforgettable day at a time.